Now coming to some other properties of metals and non-metals, the fifth one is conductivity of heat and electricity. Now metals are said to be very good conductors of heat and electricity. If you see an example, the coils in the heaters are made up of metals. Then all the wires, electric wires are made up of metals. That is because they can conduct electricity through them. You will never find any electric wire made up of a non-metal, or any electric coil in a heater made up of a non-metal. Okay, that is because the non-metals are very bad conductors of heat and electricity, while metals are said to be very good conductors of heat and electricity. Conductors means they allow the heat or the electricity to pass through them easily. Now among these, the silver and copper are said to be the best conductors. Now, but still I would like to tell you that you will not find silver wires very often, especially in electric wires, even though it is supposed to be said to be the best conductor of electricity, because silver is said to be very costly. Okay, so the silver wire will cost a lot. That is why we prefer copper wire, and copper is also an excellent conductor of electricity. Then coming to the exceptions in case of non-metals, the only exception is the graphite and the gas carbon. They both are said to be the good conductors of electricity. Graphite is a good conductor of heat and electricity both. Now graphite is a form of carbon. You have seen it also. It is present in a pencil lead, and you can use it for testing also by making a circuit. And talking about gas carbon, now gas carbon is a type of carbon which is formed when we heat petroleum, the crude oil, at a very high temperature in a closed container. Then on the walls of the container we find this substance, gas carbon, deposited as a layer. It is a grey colored substance. Okay, it might be converting into some gas which then deposits as a solid over the layers, inner layers of the container, which is known as gas carbon. Now it is also a good conductor of electricity. Then coming to tensile strength. Now tensile strength means the stress or the force or the pressure which a substance can bear without breaking up. So metals are said to have a very high tensile strength. They can bear a large amount of stress, and while non-metals are said to have a very low tensile strength. That means they cannot take a large amount of force or pressure. They break up easily. Now talking about exceptions, in the metals the only exception is zinc. We have already studied that zinc is brittle in nature, that is why its tensile strength is also very low. And here talking about non-metals, carbon fiber is the only exception which has got a very high tensile strength. We have already discussed that carbon fiber is a bit ductile, it has limited ductility, it is very strong, it has a very high tensile strength. It doesn't breaks up easily. Then the next property is the formation of alloys. Now metals are capable of forming alloys by mixing either with the other metals or at times with non-metals also. And alloy is a homogeneous mixture. We have already studied in the earlier chapters also that in the molten form, two or more than two metals or sometimes non-metals are mixed and then they are cooled again to form a solid homogeneous mixture. That is known as alloy. The biggest example are the jewelries which we wear at home, especially those of gold. They are not made of pure gold. Some amount of silver or copper is mixed with them to make it more strong. Then steel, which we come across in our daily life, that is the biggest example of an alloy. It is made up of iron, which is a metal, and carbon, which is a non-metal. Then the other example is of stainless steel. Stainless steel products we use in our daily life a lot, and it is basically made up of iron and chromium, and small amount of nickel, silicon and manganese are also present in it. So we can see that metals are very good in forming alloys. They are capable of forming alloys a lot. But when we talk about non-metals, we don't hear the non-metals being used in the formation of alloys. Only a very small amount of non-metals is added while making alloys of metals. Like for example, steel. In steel, small amount of carbon is added. So basically non-metals are mixed with metals at times in a very low proportion for the formation of alloys, but normally non-metals in itself do not form alloys. Then talking about the solubility. Now metals are insoluble. Insoluble in water, insoluble in organic solvents. But if we talk about non-metals, non-metals can be soluble, non-metals can be insoluble. Okay, that depends on the type of non-metal being used. Some non-metals are soluble in water or organic solvents, while some non-metals are insoluble in water or organic solvents.